To dress the frets and smooth the edges so they don't catch on your fingers, we're going to use a little piece of wet and dry sandpaper. So wet and dry sandpaper is just as it sounds. It's sandpaper that can be used with a little bit of water and doesn't interfere with it. Next, we're going to put in the tuners, and the tuners we've got are inexpensive tuners, but they will work for this purpose, and they will go into the holes that we've drilled. And to make sure that I can locate them, I will be taking a little sharp drift and putting it in and marking where the holes will be. This wood is actually quite tough, the oak, and that means that instead of just screwing the screws in that hold the tuners, we're going to end up drilling them so that they will be the right size. To drill them, we will use a little pin drill, and it is basically just a little chuck to hold the drill, and it pivots at the top. So we can put that into the wood, and we'll turn it by hand. It's a fairly clean and neat way to make these holes. In our workshops, we've been trying to avoid using power tools whenever possible. They're obviously the bigger drills that we have to use, so we do use the power tools. But for this we don't need the power tools, and this will work just fine. And with a small drill, it'll put a place that we can put the proper screws in. So I'm going to be using a tuner that is normally used on the left side of the machine, in this case, and we'll be putting in these small screws that come with the tuner when you buy the tuners. And these are very inexpensive tuners, but they appear to do the job. And I just used the one screw to locate and not quite tighten it down, and prepare for the second screw to give a little bit of room to allow me to work with the screw, get the screw in the right position. And once again, we're going into that screw hole so that they are threading, but they are not difficult to thread. And that's one tuner. And again, the last of the tuners, geared tuners to go in. These tuners have about a, I believe it's about a 15:1 tuning ratio, which is good. And I'll just double check that all of the screws have been tightened. And that's basically the end of making the instrument. Now there's all sorts of options and different things that can be done to change things slightly. The shape, where the tuners are, if you want right-handed, playing a right-handed guitar or left-handed dulcimer. All of these things are possible. The finish, it can be changed. You can add a finish to it. But basically the instrument itself is done and is ready for stringing. I'm going to now put a mark on the nut, on the 0 fret of the nut, to let us hold the string in position. So the first thing I will do is double check and find the center and mark the center of the fret. I would then take a little piece of tape, a little piece of cut masking tape, and just mask it to hold it from sliding too much, and a little piece, try and keep it where we're aiming to put it. Now, having put little pieces of tape to help guide, I'm going to use a small triangular file and just make a small scratch in the center. And at 1/8 inch from each edge. Because this is a very hard jumbo fret, it takes a little bit more filing than usual, but the small fine file will do it. So we removed the tape, and you can see there are the 3 slots. Each of the outer slots is approximately an 1/8 inch from the outer edge to give us a little bit of room. We can choose where we put it. And I'm just going to erase the pencil mark, and now we're ready to string the instrument.